eating healthy and also having a meal replacement plan.
Okay.
You can do it with a smoothie, or you can do it with salads. That's why we came about eating salad, to help people to eat healthy, not just losing weight, to be healthy.
The reason why people have, taken the second option of fixing different types of weave is because they have never really been able to be tutored on how to cater for their natural hair. So you really can't blame us, you can't blame women, but when it becomes a habit, it's also very dangerous.
Okay, to get the knowledge of how to get the good hair quality. When we cut human hair from the head of the ladies, we hold it like that, we take the measurement of the hair.
Relevant to every aspect of the modern day woman's life. Thank you for joining Metrowoman. Now today we're going to take a look at several interesting topics. For ladies who have a wedding to plan for and they're working with a budget, we bring to you today an expert who will give us tips on how to organize your wedding on a budget. Also, we're going to also have an expert coming to the house to show us several stress-free tips that we can, take advantage of to help us reduce stress, daily stress. Welcome, this is the Ask Metrowoman segment, and we're going to take a question from a viewer. I have with me here today Ada to help us answer the question. Ada, how are you doing?
Fabulous.
Thank you for joining me. I'm good. Thank you.
I'm glad
Okay,
to
so
be
the
here.
question is from Ebere, and Ebere sent in this question from Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory of Nigeria. And she says that she has just recently said yes to a man. She's been dating this man for over 3 years now. He's 5 years younger than she is, and he just popped the question, and she said yes. However, her mother is very concerned, that she is much older than he is, and she wants to know what my opinion is. Well, if you'd asked me, I think getting married to younger men right now it's almost trending. What I mean is, it's like a lot of people are doing it,
Right.
So what do you think?
Well, first I would say congratulations to Ebere on getting to this important step.
I thank you on her behalf.
So the issue with age,
Yes.
him being 5 years younger,
Yeah.
on one hand I can see her mom's concern because her mom's generation is very normal,
Yeah.
typical for the man to be
To be
older.
much older.
To be older than the woman. So this is a flip.
Yes.
But I would say, seeing that one, she has dated him for 3 years, hopefully she knows him. She knows the person that she is following into the marriage, because the issue is that whether he's 5 years younger than her or 5 years older than her, he's going to be her husband. And he's going to expect the respect that is due him as a husband. And sometimes that is the biggest issue when it comes to a relationship where the woman is older than the man. Can she respect him as her husband? Can she follow him as her leader? When he makes decisions or when he wants to do something, can she say, oh, yes, I'm older than you, but I will listen to what you have to say. I will follow you. I think sometimes maybe that's her mom's biggest concern, that she's not going to be able to respect him because of the age disparity.
Yeah, and I think the younger men actually who are more mature.
Right.
And I think it depends on the individual, because you have older men who act like
are
babies,
still lacking in
and then there are
maturity,
young
right.
men who are actually mature. So
Right.
it should depend on the individual.
It should depend. She needs to know who she's marrying and know what the relationship is like.
Yeah.
And I think it's something her and her husband need to talk about, because that tendency for women to say, oh, I'm older than you, what are you talking about?
When were you born again?
Yeah, is going to come up. So they need to be able to clear the air and know that they are walking the same journey as a
Yeah.
couple. And I think also for her mom, she needs to sit down with her and say, Mom, I know that this is not normal, but this is
my
who,
choice.
Yes,
this is what I
who
want.
I
You
want.
know, I listened to someone very recently who was talking about ladies and the power of choice. And, you know, he said that ladies are actually very powerful when it comes to choosing. They're actually the ones who have the power. You know why? Because you're the one to determine who you're following. Anybody you're getting married to, you have to submit.
Right, he becomes your
Now you have
husband.
to ask yourself, can I follow this man? Do I know where he's going? Do I want to go where he will lead me to?
Exactly.
So once you know that you can follow him and that he's going to a good place and you're excited about where he's going, I think you'll be fine, you know.
Right.
I personally, you know, might not would
Right,
not
it's
have
not for
done that.
everybody,
Yes, it's not, I
yes.
think
It's
it's not
not
for
for
everybody.
everybody, but
you know, but that if that's
once
what
you
you
have
have
decided,
and that's the
yes.
situation you have and you're happy with it and you know where he's going and you're ready to follow him.
And it makes you feel young.
He makes you feel young, right? Yeah. All right, so thank you. We'll be
you
right
for
back.
having me.
Now, this is for engaged ladies. He has popped the question and you have said yes. You've always wanted to have a fairy tale wedding, but now you have a budget to work with. I have just the right thing for you. Tips from a wedding planner on how you can work well with the budget. So I have here Helen. She's the CEO of Constellation Events. Helen, how are you doing?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm good.
You
and
look absolutely gorgeous.
You too. How are you doing?
I'm very well.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so Helen is actually here to talk to us about how to work, you know, on a budget and how to have that wedding of your dreams without necessarily spending, you know, a lot of money. Right,
Yes.
Helen?
Yes.
So we have a board and then we've written down, you know, several of the things that we should take note of and we're going to just take them step by step. So let's start from the beginning. Here you said weddings on a budget. The first thing to do is establish your budget. Tell us more about that.
Well, like we said, we're not just planning any wedding, it's a wedding on a budget. And for us to, everything about that wedding.
The way you said we're not just planning any wedding, but a wedding on a budget. Does that make it special?
Yes, actually. Now, here's the thing.
Yeah.
If it's a wedding on a budget, that means everything about this wedding has to be dependent. The focal point is the budget. So you can't just pick anything. You can't just do anything. It has to
You have
fall
to be
in line with the
conscious.
established budget.
So there has to be a budget.
Yes,
you have to
you have to
plan. You have to say,
establish.
this is
You have
how
to
much
know.
I have.
Yes.
to do
And then
what I
when you
wanna do.
establish what you have, we now begin to work with that and make our decisions
Based on the budget, and
that
then
we have
next you
established.
said prioritize objectively.
Yes, and now you write a list of the things you want to do, right?
Yeah.
Now there's the typical wedding. If you're being realistic, you realize that there are certain things that you need to cut out. But in cutting out, you still want to be happy when the event is done,
Yes.
right? So you have to prioritize and say, this and this and this are the things that are most important. I can compromise on this, I can do away with
Great.
that. And so when you prioritize, what happens is, at the end of the day, you discover that you cut out a lot of unnecessary factors, unnecessary things.
Great.
You know,
Then
from
how about the guest list? How does that come in?
Now, we say we're planning a wedding on a budget.
Yes.
Now, a 1,000-man guest list you're not going to be able to budget with that.
Definitely.
It's not realistic. So what I would advise a client typically is invite the people who are most important, who are relevant, right?
To both of you.
To both of you, because here's the truth of the matter. A lot of people who attend weddings weren't meant to be there. They thought, what am I going to do today? A friend of mine told me, she's going
Yeah,
for a
the
wedding.
wedding,
Can I join you? And the next thing, you have a lot of people who aren't meant to be there. Guess what? You're going to feed them. You're going to provide, rentals for them. You're going to provide drinks for them. And that's stretching your budget.
Yeah.
So if you say it's strictly by invitation, I'm expecting 150 people, that's realistic. You can't say you want to plan a wedding of, take for instance, speaking figuratively, you want to spend $1 million and then you want to feed 1,500 people. That's not going to fly.
Yeah.
So the objective
About who, and make sure it's
Yes.
just the really important people that you're inviting.
Yes.
And I guess also you don't do things like inviting people to your wedding on Facebook and all these like really large social media platforms, and then you're just in trouble. So
strictly, you just draw up a
probably
guest
send out
list
text messages and cards to just the people you want.
and then entry will be dependent on the guest providing the invitation card that says that this person is invited. And then there's a little trick I would usually advise. This invitation admits one. It's a simple instruction, simple piece of advice.
Great.
It works.
Oh, good. Okay, so to the venue. How about the venue?
Yes. Now, when it comes to preparing and planning for a wedding, one of the things that eats deepest into your wedding budget is the venue. Now, there's some practical things that you can adopt, ideas that you can adopt.
Okay.
One of them is the fact that first you have reduced your guest list. There are a couple of event centers that would allow you to hire half of the hall.
Great.
So you don't have to pay
as
for
much.
the entire venue.
Good.
Another idea, which saves people a lot of trouble, and it's done a lot outside this country really, is to use, instead of going to hire a hall in the first place, why don't you use a family member's residence, an uncle and aunt, your parents' house if there is the space.
Yeah, that makes sense.
A family friend. I come from a home where we had a really spacious compound, and what used to happen is not just that we did our own family events in the compound. Sometimes neighbors, family friends,
Used to get to
relatives
use it
would
as well.
approach us and say, you know, I'm getting married and we would like to use your space. And of course, we'd be more than glad, you know. So
That's
that
a great
saves you,
idea.
that is, I mean,
It just
that is
takes
already
out the-
completely
wow.
out of the budget, you know.
That's
So
good.
that 1 point something million, you know, that you would have spent, you know, you can use it to do other things.
Great, thank you for that. How about the food and the drinks?
Now, a practical example of how you could reduce your budget with the food is having a plated menu. So instead of having a buffet where you now have to have, you know, a wide array of different dishes and all of that, you can just have a plated menu where people are served, you know, and it's cheaper, it's more cost effective to just do that as against doing it buffet style. Another thing is cut out the champagne, you know, because one thing that really can expand your budget astronomically is, you know, having expensive wines and the champagnes and just keep popping it and your bill and your blood pressure is going up, you know, so save yourself the stress.
Your bill and your blood pressure, they're really related.
Yes, actually they are. So, you know, if you cut that out or reduce the quantity of the champagne that you serve, at the end of the day, it would
reduce. It will go a long way to helping.
Yes.
Okay, so next item is the cake.
Aha! Now, this would be like a cheat system. If you're able to find a cake person who would cooperate with you, there are actually people who you can have a magnificent cake, but more than half of it is a dummy, actually. Yes.
I can't believe it.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yes, so the cake
So
is
it's a
beautiful,
dummy.
but half of it is a dummy. You just cut the part, make sure your husband remembers that the third tier is the real cake, so they don't put the knife, you know, in the dummy area. What happens
Oh my goodness, Helen.
yes, you save so much money because all those layers
How much
cost
did it
you.
cost you to make that dummy? Are you sure it's not the price of the cake?
No, it's actually cheaper to have a dummy than to have, you know, you want 6 tiers of cake. Well, you can have the look, but not actually have 6 tiers. You know, just have 1 layer that's actual cake,
Seriously?
and that saves you some money.
Flowers and decor. What do we do
Aha.
about the decor?
Now, keep your decor simple.
Yeah.
Remember we said we have to be objective, and let me also say this, be realistic. We're working with a budget, right?
Yeah.
So you can't bring, you don't want to have Paris and New York brought into your wedding if it's going to be on a budget. If you keep it simple, you can use things like mood lights and all of that. They can create, you know, like a very luxurious, elegant ambience without necessarily paying for things that are really expensive when it comes to decor. And then for flowers, instead of importing fresh flowers, which can be really expensive, you could use silk flowers. They, you know, with the right person and the right kind of flowers, they can have that look and feel of being
When
real
you say
flowers.
silk flowers, like artificial flowers.
They're artificial, but they look
Real.
you know, life, like they're life plants.
Okay.
Yes.
And then music. What do you suggest for music?
Okay, now it's commonplace for people to want to have a band, you
Yes,
know, at the wedding.
at the reception.
And usually you'll find that bands are a bit more expensive. So why not just opt for a DJ? You can create your own playlist, the list of songs that you want and all of that. And then you just have a DJ play the songs that are important to you instead of having, you know, because sometimes when people want to have a band, they want to have a DJ because of the age disparity in the crowd that's attending for the old people. But you can have a selection of songs that will cater to both the old and the young people. And then your DJ plays it and you save a little bit.
That's nice.
From
Stationery.
Yes, stationery, that that refers to like all the papers, your invitation cards,
Okay.
your program. And you know, like what happens is a lot of times we have, when people get to the venue,
Yes.
right, you have a menu card. Now, if you have already established the fact that you're having a plated menu, you really don't need a menu card, really.
yeah.
But just for sake of, you know, the information, you want to have a menu card, you can have it on the same, you know, paper on one side of your program. So that way you're
So
not
it
paying,
serves both purposes.
you're killing two birds with one stone.
Interesting.
Yes.
Interesting. And then you said utilize your friends and family.
And
Where does
family.
that come in?
Well, there are different ways in which that could come in. Take, for instance, hostesses. The money it would have cost you
Ushers.
to hire ushers or hostesses, as the
hostesses,
case may be, you can use your family members and friends. And so they would be the meet, the welcoming parties, they would greet your guests and usher them. Since it's not, if it's
A
not
very
a big
event.
crowd, it would be something that they'll be able to take care of, and then you have saved yourself a few thousands or hundreds of thousands that you would have spent, you know, going to get this service from a company and all of that. So that saves you a little bit there too.
Thank you so much. That was so insightful and
Happy to be of help.
eye-opening. The dummy cakes are so nutty, seriously. So
But
thank
they
you
work.
for coming. Yeah, I know. So don't go away. We'll be right back. Hello and welcome back. This is Metrowoman, and today I am with Dr. Kemi, she's the director of Privia Healthcare Limited. Dr. Kemi, how are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
I'm good, thank you. Now, today she's going to take us through some habits that we can cultivate as women to help, reduce the stress we feel, every day. Now, Dr. Kemi, let me tell you where this is coming from. 2 days ago, I was at the hospital. I took my son for immunization, and I overheard two friends having a conversation. And one of them was talking about how, she had to wake up very early in the morning, take her son to school, and then get to work, and then go back and pick up her son. From what she said, it was really like she had a hectic day every day. And her friend was asking her and said, how do you cope? She said, what will I do? you know, and I know it's reminiscent of a lot of women. That's how it is for a lot of women, you know, nowadays. There's just so much to do. You have to take care of everybody, and sometimes we neglect ourselves, you know, if we don't take time. You're taking care of the husband, the children, you're looking after the house, you have a business, you know, and it's just so much sometimes, you know, so that's why I thought of calling you here.
Okay.
So that you could just share with us some tips on how to reduce stress and how to feel better and how to like manage our time so that we can become more effective mothers and more effective spouses and just generally more effective and better in the things that we do every day.
Okay,
Yeah?
sure, that's fine.
So what do we have here?
Okay, here I have a table with different activities that we can do to reduce our stress levels as mothers and women.
Yeah.
One thing you find out about stress is it caused by like you're juggling so many emotions at the same time.
Yes.
Do you understand? So you're having a lot of things to do at the same time. So what I would say to our women, mothers, even our fathers and men is the very first thing you need to do is plan. You know, this is an iPad.
Yeah.
Write down the list of activities you want to do in a day. If you're having too much that you can handle, then reschedule. Try not to have so many things clogging your attention at the same time. Because you find out that I'm trying to be here, I'm trying to be here, I'm trying to be here, I'm trying to be here. And that's what really causes the stress. Your mind is running everywhere. So try to list down some activities.
Yeah.
Okay, today I'm taking my son for immunization. So planning, time management, and delegation if you have too many things.
Great.
Okay, so that's the first thing. That's next. So the next thing is now you're juggling in between all these activities. In between, you know, take an orange, take fruits. They help to keep you alive, help to keep up your energy levels, and it also, you know, it reduces your stress. So take a lot of fruits. You can put it in your bag. Apple, bananas, orange. Okay, between 11 and 12, what am I doing? Drink some water. Please, this is your #1 antidote to stress management. Take loads and loads of water. Take water in between your activities, you know, because when you're like, man, I have to. That's stress response.
Yeah.
You need to get yourself from I have to, okay, I'm doing this, okay, I'm fine. That's okay, that's all sorted out. You need to get yourself to a calm state. So you have to see it's about your mind and planning, okay? Yeah. And while rather than, even if you are in the I have to, take water. Do you understand? It calms you down and it relaxes you. So please take lots of water, take lots of fruits. Your best music.
It's not just listening to music. What about dancing?
Yeah, of course.
I hear it's therapeutic as well.
Fantastic. Yes, you understand because what you're doing is you're shaking your body, you're easing off the tension.
Yeah.
The music is helping to relax you.
But you can listen to music in the office.
Yes, and if you get home, you can, shake your body, dance, and all of that.
Great. And then what's this? A book?
Yeah, so this is a book.
Yeah.
It could be a novel or your Bible. So what you can do, of course, early in the morning, you read your Bible or your Rhapsody or Reality or whatever, say those uplifting statements. You jot what you have to do for the day.
Yeah.
In the afternoon, you can read a novel.
Yeah.
At night when you get home, so you can just read a novel or just jot down, and then jot and, have a diary.
That helps as well.
That helps as well.
Exercise.
So exercise, especially if you are very busy, you can do like 3 times in a week. You can skip for like 15 minutes, 20 minutes. And what exercise does, it helps to promote blood circulation.
And then the pillow.
You have to sleep.
Sleep well, rest.
You have to rest. Many people don't rest. So lack of sleep is even a major cause of stress.
Thank you, Dr. Kemi. This has been an enlightening session. So guys, we're going to be sleeping, skipping, listening to music, reading, journaling, eating fruits and drinking water. And we're going to feel better. Thank you so much, Dr. Kemi, for joining us. We'll be right back. Don't go away. welcome back. Now this is the inspired segment, and this is the piece for those who are not yet married. So why are you not yet married? All your mates are. You're not getting any younger. When are you going to bring him home? All these sorts of comments put you under pressure if you plan to get married. Do not compare yourself with anybody married or about to be married. Do not feel bad about your single status. And remember that the same pressure will continue even after you are married. For example, 6 months after the wedding, people are going to start asking, so why are you not yet pregnant if you haven't conceived? After that, they will ask, why do you have 5 girls and no boys? And then after that, they will wonder why you've allowed yourself to gain so much weight after childbirth. The list is endless. The pressure will not go away. So do not succumb to it if you want to have internal peace. He makes all things beautiful in its time. So quit worrying. Head up, chin up, take a deep breath, calm down and enjoy your life. You deserve the best. Stay strong, stay beautiful, and remember that it can only get better. Thank you for watching.
In God's presence into your home.